Hello, welcome to my home. My name is Lisa and this is my channel about stitching. How's everyone doing? Today is April 22nd, I believe, and it is a Wednesday in the afternoon, and I've been spending the entire day in my sewing room just playing around, and it has just been a great day. We woke up to snow this morning. We had about 2 inches or more of snow that fell throughout the night, which we had known was going to be coming, but we were hoping might pass us by. But as I look out now, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and it's pretty much all melted now. And thankfully, the wind is blowing pretty good, and so it's kind of drying everything up and knocking everything off of the trees. So anyway, it's looking back to normal and being green out there, so that's always good. So, it's been about 2 weeks since my last video, and there really hasn't been a whole lot of stitching going on, but I have been getting a little bit of stuff done, and so I thought I would just share with you what I've been up to, and hopefully you'll find something entertaining, and hopefully you're stitching at the same time, so you're multitasking. And anyway, we're hoping that you're having a good time stitching while we're going through this. So I thought what I was going to do first is kind of take you on a little bit of a tour of my sewing room. And so a little bit of a backstory in case you haven't been here before. Welcome. And my sewing room that I'm in now, I used to be in the basement of our home, and my mom lived with us for about 8 years. Well, she passed away last Sunday, what would have been a year ago. And so this was her apartment, and we were just going to use it like as a spare room or whatever, but we don't ever have guests. So Larry said, my husband said, no, you're having trouble with your knees going up and down the steps, you should make that your sewing room. And so that has been our little bit of a progress, what we've been working on a little bit at a time. And so it's been kind of a struggle trying to figure out where I want stuff on the wall and how to rearrange things. And then I keep acquiring more things from the thrift store and moving things around more and more and more. And so it is by far finished. There are so many things I want to do, but I found the other day that it was just really motivating. I shared a couple of pictures with a few friends, sharing them with them what I had been up to, and I felt like it really kind of motivated me even more. So I thought, well, maybe if I get on here and just get the ball rolling. It doesn't have to be perfect to share it with friends, right? So so a lot of this is just the beginning stages, and I have a ton of plans that I'd like to do. I still have to bring up my quilting machine from the basement, and so I'll show you where that's going to be going. And there's still piles of things. I want my husband to make me some shelves over there, so I have some quilts hanging out. And I thought, well, it's silly to take it downstairs just to bring it back up to put it on a shelf. So I'm just trying to make some nice piles here and there. But anyway, so there are piles and stuff. There are still things that need to come out of here, but this is just a starting point. So I thought I would bring you along and see to see what I've been up to. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the camera and switch it around, and hopefully I don't make anybody seasick. So hold on. Okay, so I'm in my living room, and I'm basically standing right by the couch where I do my stitching. Over to the left here is the hutch that I've talked about quite a bit. Right here's Sarah, she's looking out the window. Anyway, so my mom had cats, and so we didn't want her to have to try to catch her cats every time she came in and out of our side of the house. So, and I'm allergic to cats, so we had to keep them separate. So we had a set of double doors here, which is kind of bizarre, but anyway, that's how it was. And so I just decided it would be a good spot to put some shelves. So Larry put some shelves up for me a while back, and I just have some of my fabric stash. I didn't even rearrange it. I just plumped it right in a spot. So some of the baskets were how I was organizing it down in the basement. Some piles are just crazy piles, but it's progressive, right? And so then I also have another pile of fabric here that still has to find a home. And so I'll show you some of the shelving that I'm expecting to do here soon. And then we have a little bit of cross stitch on this wall. This is a Little House Needleworks. Sorry, my LNS is called Little Creek, and so I get them mixed up all the time. I find that after I rewatch a video that I often say the names, but this is Little House Needleworks. And I think it's Seasons of the Heart or something like that. And so then I have a little bit more fabric here, some more fabric here, and a shirt that I need to put a button on. Okay, and so this area right here is probably the last area to be picked up. Just a second. Sorry, all of a sudden I had to sneeze. So this is where my handy quilter is going to go. We have a rocker and a wheelchair and some boxes and whatnot that need to go. So anyway, this is the last area that still needs picked up. Okay, and so then we'll come around a little bit. I do have my TV up here so that I can watch Flosstube. And then this corner here, this is where my mom used to have a refrigerator. She used to have a little kitchenette right over here that we took out. But I want Larry to put me shelves pretty much from floor to ceiling so that I can store all the stuff that a sewing room needs. It's about probably almost a 2-foot deep shelf. So I could put quite a bit of stuff up there, I believe. So I have some doors to the outside. This was my mom's flower bed out here. All the snow is gone, except, well, there's a little bit over there under the tree. Okay, and so let me try to back up a little bit. So the other day at the thrift store, I found these chairs that I just had to have. So one of them had a tear in the arm. This one was the good one. It was $35. And then that one over there had a little bit of tear on the outside, maybe like a 2-inch or something. But I always knew I would probably put a scarf or some kind of doily or something on it. And so this chair was $17. But then I had a 20% off coupon. So by the time I got out of there, I had both chairs for $44. So I was totally excited. So, but I had planned on using them for the living room, but it just didn't look right. So I put my love seat back in the living room and decided to put them in here. And I'm liking it so far. So I have some cross stitch and some quilting. I did find a home. I remember last week or 2 weeks ago when I talked about a finish, I said that I was going to try to figure out where I was going to put some of my patriotic finishes. And I decided to just put them in here on my sewing machine here until I come up with a better idea. So I was able to put the blackbird design there. And then I ended up putting Liberty House by Brenda Gervais over on this corner. I just hung up a thrift store quilt that I got a couple, well, probably 6 years ago or so. Hung that up on the ladder. I've got my little 3-tiered tray full of crochet thread. This was a little fireplace my mom had in here to kind of take the chill off sometimes if the room was cold. I'll zoom in here. This is a picture of my mom. Oh, and her name was Betty, so I have a B there for her. And then this is a little area of some of my recent finishes that I have shared a while back. Anyway, so we'll pan over a little bit. Now, I don't have any curtains up yet, and the window doesn't even have trim. My mom had some really pretty white curtains up there, and we had just pretty much forgotten that we hadn't finished the window. I'm sure she hadn't forgot, but she didn't harp at us. Okay, so Larry put up a ladder for me. So I just put in a couple baskets and some little quilts. The one in the center there is a churn dash that I made, and then this is a churn dash that my mom made for me. Okay, and so now this is pretty much the work area side of the craft room. And when I say that it's a work in progress, I mean literally this is like a huge improvement. If you had seen it before, crazy messy. So, Larry was given this little cabinet for free. And so my plan is to store a lot of crafting supplies in there. I still have to take they have like a Time Warner cable, and like they have Ohio Edison, Dominion Gas. They still have all their old labels in there. So I still have to fix that. But my plan for in here, I have a ton of lace trim and whatnot. And so my plan is to try to cover some little cardboard like this with real pretty vintagey ephemera kind of paper. And then I'll be able to store all of that in this cabinet. So I'm kind of wondering whether I should try to paint it or if I should leave it that color. But anyway, I just have a little bit of some mini charms, some fabric that I like. If you ever see fabric that's rolled up like that, that's how it comes from my thrift store. So like this piece here was it says 18 by 22 and it was 50 cents. So my thrift store is a great place to get fabric. So have a few little gifty things Loretta gave me. I have an empty dog treat container, which I have to remedy really quickly. They were bugging the heck out of me this morning. So I have the little box that I had made in honor of my mom. I have a little pair of her scissors on here. And her thimble. Anyway, I've talked about that in a past video. Oh, and I have my pledge sitting out. That's nice. Anyway, so this is where I do my cutting for quilting and whatnot. I have my rulers hung up here. I have my rotary cutters. And then down there I have all of my thread and my thread drop supplies and whatnot. Anyway, tons of stuff down there. I decided I found this little organizer at the thrift store for 25 cents, and I thought, well, maybe it'd be better for me to have a little area right here to store a few things, and then my phone leans up right against that thing real nice, and I can watch Flosstube and whatnot while I create. So I have my little sewing machine here. This is how my mom had displayed things on the wall. These are her blue dishes. And the little dress is something my grandmother had made for me when I was a baby. And so she had that hanging up here. So I just hung it back up after I painted and just put a little sampler up there. But I'm not sure exactly. I want to rearrange the quilts and things on the wall. But we're just trying to get it organized first, and then I'll decorate it. So, but Larry put a ladder up there for me. And then this area right here is where I do my rubber stamping. I didn't bring up much of my stuff. I brought up my paper and envelopes and some rubber stamps. And then I have more stuff in there. But the majority of my stamps are all still in the basement. There's just not enough room up here. So then I have a little desk here that I got at the thrift store. It's like a favorite thing for me to see what kind of treasure I can find there. This was a little desk that was, I think, $45 or something like that. Let me move my chair here. So I just have some stitching that's out of season. I have some Christmas and fall and whatnot there. Have a place for my laptop. And then I just purchased a printer the other day. So I'm hoping to be able to do some of the things that I've been putting off because I didn't have a way to print them out. So hopefully now I can get busy. And then this thing, I have big hopes for it. You guys will have to give me pointers on what color you think I should paint it. So this was a free display that my work was throwing away. And so it's on wheels and it also turns. And it has these little plastic, I think it was to display books. Something like that, maybe. I'm not sure exactly what they even did with it. But I thought, oh, wouldn't that just be so cute? Let me get a little pillow here. I thought, oh, I could put some little pin pillows on these little displays. And then I can hang my... Sorry, I'm not very good at holding my camera and doing things. Sorry. I thought I would have Larry put me some... nails or screws or something on here that I could just hang my floss. And I thought I could just hang it according to colors. So I could have, like maybe yellow and browns and blues and then the greens and reds and all on different sides. So that's my plan for that. And then we're back to the door where you entered into my living room. So that's where you go back into the living room. And then there's also a little laundry room there. Let me switch you back here just a second. So there's also a little bit of a laundry room in there. That's where her bathroom used to be. And so it's plumbed for washer and dryer hookup. So we just put the washer and dryer up there now. Oh, hold on to your hat, people. Don't get dizzy. I'm going to set up the camera so you guys don't get nauseous. Just a second. Okay. So anyway, I hope you liked my little tour. There is still a ton of stuff left to do. I have some other things that I have potential for that I think would be really cool. But I just have to get motivated. But it was funny, everything that I wanted to do required, printing off some of these things that I found on Pinterest. I found a lot of ephemera and things that you could, that were even free, that you could print off. And so I think I have like literally baskets of trim excuse me, and all kinds of things that I know I would be so much more apt to use them if they were organized a little bit better. So I think that little cabinet's going to be great. I think having all my thread hanging there is going to be wonderful. And so another one of my plans is to try to start taking all of my DMC off bobbins, just because once I've used a thread drop and I can just put my needle in there and pull a piece of floss out and just start stitching, there's no way I will go back to pulling one of the 6 strands off and then pulling one out of that and then putting it all back. No, you can, well, the way you can do it, just pull it off and be done. There's just no going back for me. So I know everybody's different, and I am just thankful that everybody likes to do things differently, because that makes it entertaining. But that's just how I know I will most likely always do it from now on. And so I think that little turntable thing is going to be cool. So fingers crossed that I can keep some of this momentum going and I can actually make some progress in some of these things. Now, if I could just get my silly computer and copier to pair, I can get it to go with my phone pretty good, but it won't pair with my computer. So I've got to play around with that. But I didn't have that in me today. So today I worked on Stitch Mania. So we'll switch gears to stitching now instead of a room tour. So anyhow, are you guys going to be doing Stitch Mania? I have decided I am going to do it this year. I'm going to do it the same way I did last year, and do it as if I had a whip that I had started in a previous Mania, then I was going to continue that again on that day if I haven't finished it. So I looked back. I had to watch a couple of my old videos just to try to figure it out. But I went back and I realized how many things I had started. And now this could even be ongoing for like 2 manias. I didn't really pay attention to whether I actually started it that year or if it was something that I had already done before. I feel like I've done it this way for a couple of years. So who knows? It doesn't matter. But I realized I have like 16 finishes last year that I had started during a mania. I finished 16 of them last year, or so far this year. And I have 15 whips. So those 15 I will continue on, and this May I will work on it one day at least and see where I go from there. And then I have, I think, 15 things started to start. And these are all charts that I already have. Either they are a chart that I've purchased or they're something free off of Instagram. Not Instagram, Pinterest, sorry. So I'm going to try to pick some small things off Pinterest that are free. I have a few that are red samplery, to comply with Brenda and Laura. I finished my last one. Like I said last time, I was doing Lori Holt's method of just stitching one strand or two of floss a night before I work on something else. And so I finished my first project, lickety split. So I have like 3 or 4 contenders. So tonight, hopefully, I'm going to figure out get something of those kitted up. So I have another evening one strander to do. And then I'm just going to hold off starting anything else until May. So, but anyway, I'm very excited. It was fun to kind of get a little bit of a plan going. And so now I'm hoping before May, I will start to get at least the first half of the projects all kitted up and ready to go. So hopefully I have a lot of the floss here that I can use. So, but yeah, it's been a fun day. I'd be interested in the comments to hear whether you're going to be doing Mania. Are you going to do 31? Are you going to do 21 for like the year 1921, 2021? It'd be interesting. So if you think of it, just leave me a comment or send me a message on Instagram or whatever and let me know what you're up to. Um, so what else has been going on? Not much. I did a little bit of stitching on my prairie schooler that I started as a new start last video. Um, I've got a little bit done on that. And then I did a secret stitch that I can't share with you because it's going to be a present for someone and I don't want them to see it. And I don't want them to see the free chart and scoot off and start it without before it gets to them. So, but anyway, I was able to get that finished the first week. I worked on that in the evenings a little bit here and there. And so I was able to frame it today. And so now I just need to get it off in the mail. But yeah, it's been pretty good. So I've just been watching Flosstube all day and getting caught up on that. I had been behind on some of mine that I like to watch. So that was fun. And I'd like to say thanks to Lori for the shout out. It's a good thing I was sitting pretty squarely on my chair. I might have fallen out of it whenever she gave me a shout out on her last video. It's so cute. So many people have said, "Hey, have you watched her last video? You got to go watch it." And it was funny. I woke up Saturday morning and it was like, I don't know, 5 o'clock or something like that. And I thought, oh shoot, I bet Lori Holt has a new video up. So I just hurried and grabbed my can of Dr. Pepper and headed to my sewing room and was watching it. And then when she said something about me and my channel, I just about fell out of my chair. It was incredible. She said she wished we were neighbors, that it would be such a fun, and wouldn't that be a fun community if everybody that we're connected with through Instagram or Flosstube channels or whatever, can you imagine if there was like a community that we could all live in? We could just go from porch to porch. But anyway, but I appreciate that, Lori. Thank you for making my week. I've thought about it off and on and just smiled every time. So I thank you. And if you've come over to my little channel from her shout out, I have increased a little bit in subscribers. So hey, welcome. Hope you find something interesting. So usually I have a lot more stitching to share. I've just been chatting mostly this time, but a lot of people had said, hey, we want to see what your sewing room looks like. And I thought, well, this is the cleanest by far that it's been in months. So I thought I'd better take advantage of it before I junk it up again. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing. There's so many things that are kind of falling in place. And so I'm hoping that I will be able to get some of these creative juices going and I can accomplish some more stuff. So I was thinking I was going to go ahead and share what I was thinking about doing for my Stitch Mania, but I think I'm going to save that for another video just because we're already at almost 30 minutes and that's going to take a while, and I had thought I'd share some of my finishes from last year. So I think I'll just save that for my next video. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that later on today or something once I grab all the stuff together. But I want to say thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope that I didn't get anybody dizzy spinning around and whatnot. There's still not really a ton of open space to kind of maneuver around. So I had to kind of keep my eye on the floor more than the camera. So I hope when I watch it back it's not awful. I did actually buy one of those little, what's it called, a selfie stick or stabilizer. I don't know what the heck it was, but I didn't have it charged up and stuff. So I just came the other day. So I got to figure out how to use it. So maybe the next tour will be a little more professional. I doubt it. Anyway, hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to hop off here. I hope you're doing something wonderful today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you come back and see me again. Bye bye.